Hello everyone, it's my great honor to attend this conference. Today my topic is COVID-19 affects parent-child relationships and preschoolers' social adaptation in China. Our team comes from Shanghai University, China. This is my content. The first one is introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic has had an insensible impact on the whole world. It not only caused people to develop physical health problems like pneumonia-like symptoms, but also has a lot of negative effects psychologically. Previous studies have found that COVID-19 has fundamentally changed the daily life of the family. Most parents have to work from home while taking care of their children, especially preschoolers. Parents have to help them complete the task of the remote education, which put forward an additional requirement for parents, lead to the increased parental pressure and the risk of the parent-child conflict. According to the family stress model, the interaction between parents' pressure and family function disruption. Therefore, the sense of the stress caused by the epidemic may lead to negatively affect parents' attitudes towards their children and more difficult to understand and respond to children's needs sensitively, which case the dysfunction parent-child interactions that have a negative impact on the parent-child relationship, will increase the probability of children's emotional distress and problem behavior development. And the part 2 is literature review. This change in children's daily life may have a negative impact on their social adjustment. In the preschool stage, most researchers usually regard social ability, externalized behavior, and internalized emotional problems as indicators. However, it is estimated that the percent of 66 of preschoolers has at least one deterioration in the area of social adjustment during the COVID-19. A latest study has found that social adaptability of preschool children become worse during the city lockdown and also affect children's well-being. The children in the preschool stage had a significant increase in conduct problems and higher activity, while their prosocial behavior decreased and they were more likely to feel lonelier than before, which was related to parent-child conflict. The social-ecological model points that parents as the development of children's growth, which have a direct impact on the development of children's social adjustment. Recent research suggests that parents and child spend more time at home during the lockdown, and the parent-child conflict during the epidemic may be an important risk factor for children's microsystems. A survey of parent-child relationship among preschool children had also found that there were significant differences in the parent-child relationship. Younger mothers were weaker to deal with parent-child relationship. For example, another researchers have also confirmed that family with more parent-child conflict has lower mental satisfaction and poor emotional regulation, which has a negative impact on the development of children's social adjustment. Despite the foregoing perspective, there are some gaps in the literature that must be addressed. While most previous studies focus on the change of preschool children's social adjustment or the change of parent-child relationship, considerable that attention has been paid to the unique contribution of the before and after lockdown. Accordingly, in this study, we focus on PSM to compare the change in parent-child conference before and after lockdown and the impact of social adjustment of the preschool children. And we study a sample of preschoolers who locked down during the COVID-19 in Shanghai and compare them to preschoolers who will not locked down during the pandemic. And the second part is methods. The one sample set of the data comes from the preschoolers who stayed at home during the lockdown in Shanghai and matched with the control group, a group of the preschoolers who did not impose a social lockdown in Shanghai. The final sample from the group matching produced was 297 preschoolers who matched in the psychodemographic information, and their mothers of children live in Shanghai, Republic of China. We used child-parent relationship scale mothers report labs, and in this study we used a conference subscale. The highest score indicates more confronted parent-child relationship. And mother also rate the Chinese version of the stress and difficult questionnaire to assess a child's social adjustment. The next part is results. Overall balanced tests show that there was no differences between the matching groups. The independent sample t-test showed the same result. There was no differences in social demographic information between the two groups after the PSM. We used manual Winnie U test to estimate the differences in the parent-child conference between a pandemic lockdown group and control group. The results show that parent-child conference during the COVID-19 lockdown had significantly higher than not lockdown. We used SEM to estimate a multi-path mediation model. A path mediation model revealed that the parent-child conference relationship mediates the relationship between the study group and the social adjustment. And the part 5 is discussion. This study provides a new insight regarding the impact of COVID-19 lockdown. We find that when comparing families which are similar or various important background information, the majority live in the lockdown has more significant parent-child conference than the family who had not experienced lockdown. People are faced with a lot of uncertainties and risk factors during the epidemic. Our results demonstrate that epidemic lockdown was positively correct with parent-child conflict. This finding is consistent with recent study. In this regard, it's possible explanation that the epidemic has severely disrupted the life of both children and parents. Parents not only have to take off their children and supervise their children's learning while judging work, but also have more conflicts between parents. At the same time, our study also suggests that parent-child conflicts play a mediation role between the epidemic and children's social adjustment. This finding supposes that epidemic exposure will influence family process across subsistence and the whole family, such as parent-child relationship, which in turn pose a significant risk to children's adjustment. And the next part is limitations. Despite the research contribution to existing literature, some limitations should be noted. Firstly, due to the data collection methods during the epidemic, all data reporters are mothers of young children. There may be a single list of data results. Secondly, this study also assessed mentally examined the impact of parent-child conflict on children's social adjustment. Future studies should also concern on the indirect effects of other factors. The final part is conclusion. This study adds to a growing literature-based documentary the acts of epidemic-related stress on families of young children in China. Consistent with other researchers, we find that parents report parent-child conflicts help to explain the relationship between family COVID-19 distress and children emotional or behavior problems. That's all. Thank you for your listening.